Hi, my name is Chantel. Today I want to talk to you about cleaning your hearing aids. Before I get too far into this, please like, subscribe, and share this with anyone who may benefit from hearing how to clean their hearing aids. Cleaning your hearing aids is essential. It should be part of a daily or weekly routine that you have. For me personally, I'm not that on top of it. I try to remember to clean them, usually right before I go to bed, because when I get up in the morning, I tend to just stick them right in my ears and go on with my day. I don't really spend much time looking at my hearing aids. One thing that is wonderful is if you go to your hearing specialist, audiologist, they often will clean them for free. But you're probably not going in to visit them on a daily basis now, are you? I'm fortunate because I don't get too much wax buildup. I do know different people have a lot more wax buildup, and not only do they need to get their hearing aids cleaned, they also go visit the doctor to get the ear canal cleaned out from the wax that gets compacted in there. It's important to use the right tools, and many of those tools are given to you when you receive your hearing aids. And it's important that you kind of review those with your audiologist or practitioner so that you have an idea of how to use those properly and what they suggest for that type of hearing aid. Right now, I am using Kirkland's hearing aids. That's what I have that I wear on a daily basis right now, but this is not always the brand I've had. At the moment, what I do is I actually keep everything in the box that it came in. Open this box. Whoa, it's upside down. If you open this box, inside, you're going to see that I have some extra domes that were given to me by the people in the Costco Hearing Center, as well as a soft cloth little brush. So how do you use the brush? Well, the brush can be used directly over those little microphones that you see there. Now, you don't want to go too hard. You don't need to brush the heck out of it. You just want to brush it down so that it just lodges anything that might be stuck on top. I don't know about you, but earwax for me tends to gather. I have this behind the ear one right now, but my earwax tends to gather right around this piece. So sometimes I just take that little brush and I just wipe down that whole middle top end of it just to get the wax off of there. It has a little hook on the end. It's one thing to note about this little brush is this little tip. See how it's silver? I don't know if you can see that. This brush tip is magnetic, so it can help you in retrieving that battery out of your hearing aid if you have, like me, sloppy fingers. I don't use these hearing aids right now. These were my old ones. I love them. Anyway, if you have your soft cloth, another great idea is to just, when you take your hearing aid out at night, just feel free to wipe it down with the soft cloth. Microfiber cloth is wonderful to use, and you just want to, again, just get any debris, or whether it's hair or dust or wax or anything, you can just wipe it off with that. These were my very first pair of hearing aids. These were Oticons. Loved them. They were my favorite. I loved them. They were my first. So as you can see, there is a little battery cartridge here, and I would open that up. Sometimes I would see debris in there and I would just kind of wipe it a little bit, but you had to be really, really careful with this one because you obviously don't want to disrupt that cartridge where your hearing aid battery sits. Oticon gave me a ton of different little filter options to use to change out my hearing aids. And so what you do is you literally just pull this one out. You can do this at home. And one tip has it where you pull out the old one with the one end, and this white one is the new one. You can take the dome off and easily replace it yourself with a new one. Now, it's up to you to decide how often you like to change these out. I don't change them out all that often, maybe once a month, give or take. So it's up to you, and also whatever kind of dome you have. You might just want to take the dome and clean it. You can clean around the different areas of the dome. So you can lift this up and clean under here. You can lift this up and clean under here. When you have the dome off, you can also change these at home by yourself as I mentioned before. So feel free to change out the little filter that's on the very tip. There's often not a place to get your hearing aids cleaned or an audiologist within your vicinity if you're from a rural area. For instance, where I grew up, the nearest audiologist is over 100 miles away. So this is important to learn how to clean these yourself. And I realize that it's not always easy to do when you're, for instance, even needing glasses. One trick that I do, I use a camera on my smartphone to zoom in on the very tip top of my hearing aid. I don't have a magnifying glass around here, and this works just great. I can get as close in as I'd like. So let's take off one of my hearing aids today. I feel kind of lopsided whenever I do that, but I'm going to take off my hearing dome, like you see here. These ones from Kirkland are a little different. See how it has these little cartridges, 1 and 2, and the arrows on how to turn it? So what you do with this one is you just turn it the direction of the arrow, and see how now there's an empty spot on top and there's a new one on the bottom. So what I do with this, you can see the tiny little filter inside there. I just take my hearing aid and I stick it in there and listen for that click. Pull it out, and then you can see that my filter is actually removed. Then I put my hearing aid in the bottom spot. You can hear the click. Take it out, and the new filter is put in there. So it's really super handy. This is easier than most because, again, you can hang on to this quite easily, and then you just turn it and have that part go to the little garbage can. I am very particular about my dome. I find I hear better with different sized domes. So and whenever I go, I'm always asking for new domes, and they give them to you free of charge. So it's great to do that just so you have them on hand. These were my Oticon domes. Sorry about the lights in your eyes, in my eyes. So what you want to do if you have little domes to replace, put on your glasses. If I have it like this, I can just slip this in here sideways, and I can almost feel it go in there. And then I just flip those down, and my hearing aid is ready to go. New dome and new filter. Everything's been pretty much cleaned off really, really well. And then you put them back on. So let's do the same thing with the other side. What I'm going to do first is take my brush and just kind of brush off my hearing aid. I'm going to take off my dome. I'm going to take my filter changer. Next, I'm going to put on a new clean dome. Again, I like to flip these out inside out. Voila. And then sometimes I just take this soft cloth right before I put it back in. And then I'm good to go. A few other things that you want to keep in mind. Do avoid moisture. You don't want to clean your hearing aids with water or any solution that you haven't discussed already with your hearing aid provider. I just caution from doing that. I don't use any liquids with mine. Some people do dampen their cloth and then wipe down their hearing aids. I do have a habit myself of putting my hearing aids in my pocket. I'm getting better about it. I don't do it anymore. One of them fell out of my pocket. When you stick them in your pocket, they could get different types of string or hair or dust or just dirt on them. So you want to make sure that you keep them clean. Here's a little brush that came with the Phonax case, and it just pops out, and it is so cute. I just love this little case. I love it so much I hardly use it. And you know how it is when you have something that you think is just adorable and then you just kind of covet it? I should start using this more. If you have any suggestions, I would love to hear them. Please leave a comment and share with me what you've learned having hearing aids. Thank you so much. Hope these tips and tricks helped you in cleaning your hearing aids so you can hear the world.